All right, you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Okay. Welcome to the What If podcast. I'm your host, Ethan Lammy, and this is my interviewee and best friend, Cade Terry.
My guy. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Good, dude. Cade, today I want to talk to you just a little bit about what do you do here at school? What do you do for fun? What do you do for work?
So, I've been going to BYUI for about 3 years now, and my major is communication with an emphasis on video production. And so, a little bit, just to elaborate on that, I love creating and making videos that inspire people to get out there and to explore the world.
That's actually super sick.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And we live in Idaho. Obviously, the Grand Tetons and Yellowstone are just an hour away from us. So you'll catch me every single weekend either going on a hike, camping out there, or just trying to create cinematic content out there. It's the most beautiful place.
It's actually super sick. What got you into content creation? What got you into filmmaking?
So it's kind of funny you asked that. When I was 13 years old, I started taking just regular photos on my phone.
Yeah.
And I started editing them on the camera roll app, and I'm like, wait, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And so that Christmas, I asked for a GoPro,
No.
and I got a GoPro, and I started making all kinds of surfing videos, cliff jumping videos, anything that was action related. And when I started creating these, I was like, wait, this is actually kind of a fun hobby to adopt. So I kind of got a little more into it. I eventually bought myself my own camera. I remember it was a Canon 80D or something like that. I don't really
Dude, I
remember.
totally remember that camera.
Yeah,
That was sick.
it was pretty sweet, and I started taking all these cool photos. And then once I started making all kinds of videos on my camera, I bought myself a drone, and I started driving up to the mountains every other weekend. I would always catch sunrise or sunset, and I would just catch these beautiful videos.
Would you say that Natural Geographic, such as like animals, interests you, or more scenic landscape routes are more interesting? Which one is more?
So that's the
Your
thing. When
way.
it comes to my videos, I mean, if you look at my Instagram, I do have a lot of cinematic professional content out there, but I also make these I make these edits, that's what I call them, where they're about 15 to 30 seconds of videos with crazy fast transitions, lots of rotation around the
It's
camera
sick.
and stuff like that. And it's all I do it so it's visually pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
And I do it so I can capture people's attention. And so that's kind of always been my brand, Cade Terry Adventure, ever since I was 14. I would always make these crazy edits where everybody was like, whoa, how did he come up with that idea? How did he come up with all those transitions? But I would love to work for National Geographic because I also love filming wildlife. I love creating cinematic content that looks pretty professional. I would say it's a little different from my style, but it's always been a dream of mine to travel the world, and I feel like working for National Geographic would give me the opportunity to do that.
That'd be so sick. So Natural Geographic would be like your entire end goal.
100%.
Oh, dude, that'd be actually so sick. What would you recommend to youngsters?
One thing I think is huge for me is that when you get into filmmaking and video, you need to develop your own style. You've got all of these these young and aspiring videographers out there that they base all of their work off these certain filmmakers or content creators they see on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I want to create videos just like him. Well, if you really think about it, that's copying another person. And if somebody's already posting that stuff, nobody really wants to see somebody recreating it. And so when you develop your own brand and you start coming up with these videos that have their own little, what's the word I'm trying to look for? They've got their own little piece of you in it.
Yeah.
People start to get used to that, and they're like, wow, these videos are unique. I've never seen this before. Maybe I'm going to start watching this guy's content a lot more.
Yeah.
And once you start doing that, you create this name for you, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, Ethan Lammy Adventure or Cade Terry Adventure, this is super cool. So I would say, number
That'd be
one,
crazy.
develop a unique style. Be different from other people. I would also say, never stop learning.
Yeah.
There's so many filmmakers out there where they're like, oh, I know how to make videos now. It's just a breeze from here. Absolutely not. Every single videographer out there has something new to learn every single day.
Yeah.
I learn something about creating videos every single time I make a new video. And so I would say to be humble and to have humility and to never stop learning. Learn how to use new software such as Adobe After Effects, such as Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and especially in our days, I even think it's important to start learning how to use AI.
Absolutely.
Because that's going to start taking over, and whether videographers and photographers like it or not, a lot of people, a lot of companies are going to start using AI to create commercials. And so I feel like it is important to develop that skill right now.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Have you seen those edits on like YouTube Reels on like completely AI generated videos?
Yeah.
They look actually really phenomenal. There's a few things that look obviously fake.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
The transitions look really real, I feel like. Some of them. I don't know. I think it's super fascinating that AI can just completely do it in like a few seconds while it takes people hours, if not days or weeks to edit. Yeah. Tons of videos. And I think it's super awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of image do you think you have for like your name is Cade Terry Adventure on your Instagram? What do you think people perceive you as?
I would say a lot of people perceive me as an outdoorsman because I'm constantly posting landscape shots, drone shots up in the mountains. I'm always camping. I'm always on some type of hike. That's awesome. So I would say my entire brand, I think the name describes it perfectly. Cade Terry Adventure. I document all of my adventures, whether it's in the mountains, whether it's on the beach, whether it's just simply hanging out with friends. That is what I do. But it is mainly the outdoors because I really am passionate about being outside because I believe that this is such a beautiful world that God has created for us. And I love being able to capture just a smidge of it with my camera.
I love it, dude. I love it. I think you're such a good visionary man that you have such good ideas of going and getting landscape shots and of certain animals. And you invited me to so many adventures, and I've come on a few, but not a lot of them. And I want to come on more. But I'm
What
so
would you
jealous.
say? What would you say is your favorite adventure that you and I have both been on?
Probably when we went camping last semester.
Oh yeah, to Wyoming.
To Wyoming was so freaking fun, dude.
So fun.
It was so lit. We went to there was that little freaking freezing river, and then there's the hot springs, and those were just chill. Good times being in nature. Absolutely loved it.
It's beautiful. We woke up at 7 a.m. in the morning. It was like 5 degrees outside. It was
so
freezing.
freaking cold.
We had to walk across a freezing cold river, and then on the other side there was this massive hot spring right next to a waterfall. It was the coolest experience.
That had to have been one of my favorites. One of my favorites here in Idaho. What about you? Have you had a favorite event of capturing or
adventure between us or just by myself?
Just by yourself.
Okay, so I would say my favorite adventure of all time would have to be the Stairway to Heaven in Hawaii on Oahu.
Oh, dude, that's so sick.
So, I mean, there's two ways you can do it. There's the illegal way, which I did not. I did not do that because I knew I would probably have to go to court in Hawaii or something like that.
That'd be gnarly.
But there is a legal way, which is the backside of the Stairway to Heaven, which is an extra 3 miles. And fun fact about this was the first hike that I went on after my 2-year mission. For those that don't know, I served a 2-year mission for my church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Dallas, Texas. And during those 2 years, I gained a lot of weight. I was super out of shape. And a week later, after I got home, I hiked the Stairway to Heaven, one of the most difficult hikes in the world. And so halfway up, I honestly wanted to give up. I was panting. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And then I saw my own mom pass me.
No way.
And I was like, nope. My mom is not going to beat me. That's not going to happen. I took a few swigs of Gatorade, and I sucked it up, and I made it all the way up that mountain. Just the feeling of you're on these stairs on the side of a massive cliffside, and you're just looking over the entire island. It is so surreal. You get up there, and there's these old abandoned cell towers. I remember me and my brother were climbing on top of them. I got my drone out, and I was just getting the coolest shots ever.
That's so
I would say that is probably the coolest adventure I've ever been on, just because of how unique it was and because of the shots that I captured.
What if all social media platforms disappeared? What would you do in that situation?
Well, like I said, that would definitely take a toll on me because pretty much all of my content is on my social media, and I've been building up that social media platform for about 10 years now.
Gnarly.
I would say that if my social media went away, that I would focus on my future career. I would probably go towards getting an internship at National Geographic, or I would try and maybe land a job in Utah at some marketing or advertising agency. Yeah. Because my entire life I've always made videos for my brand and for myself, posting on my Instagram. I would say that I would start focusing on making money through my videos by working for other companies and shooting content for them.
Okay, so you wouldn't do as much for your personal self if social media was out.
It would be more for who I'm working for.
Okay, that makes complete sense, dude. That's so awesome. Well, Cade, thank you so much for joining my podcast today.
Absolutely,
You're
bro.
such a freaking stud. I'm so honored to have you.
You're such a stud too.
Dude,
I love you more.
Freaking love you. Dang it, that's what I was gonna say. Stay tuned for more podcasts. This is my boy Cade Terry, and this is episode 1 of What If Podcast.